What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel. Today's video is about Ilia Topuria and these very frustrating call-outs to Terrence Crawford, who just came off an incredible victory over Canelo. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a boxing fan. I did watch that fight. It just had so much hype. It was on Netflix. I had to watch it. And so I saw it, and for boxing fans, I'm sure it was amazing. And I think it was cool. Congratulations to Terrence Crawford. Everybody's saying he's one of the greatest boxers of all time. But then on the heels of this victory, Ilia seems to be chirping at Terrence Crawford, trying to get a fight with him, but not a fight, not a real fight. He wants to get into a boxing match with Terrence Crawford, a la Conor McGregor back in whatever it was, 2017 against Floyd Mayweather. And I want to go over all the reasons today why I find this to be a bad look for MMA fighters, the UFC, and the MMA community at large, because it once again perpetuates this idea that MMA fighters are always trying to get into boxing in some way, as if boxing is the superior sport. And I get it. I know what it's about. It's about a big payday. But number one, I don't think this fight is even going to ever happen. There's no way Dana White wants to even go down this route again. He even said something jokingly in the presser like, yeah, let's hope this doesn't happen. So it's pointless. And I don't know why he's pushing for it. Back when McGregor was pushing for it, it was a different thing. Dana White was open, and it was still the UFC trying to break through. I mean, Conor was talking about this in 2016, right after New York lifted the ban and legalized MMA. I mean, this is where MMA was at that time. Fast forward to today, we're in a totally different situation. If anything, MMA is the more popular sport, regardless of these really extravagant paydays for the very, 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 very tippity top boxers on the planet. But except for that, I think MMA is the dominant sport. More young people are in MMA than boxing. So it's a totally different landscape. So to be trying to do something like this at this point, I feel there's not as much value holistically in general for all parties involved. It's just Ilia trying to get a payday. Nobody else is interested in this. Dana White's not going to allow it to happen. So I wish Ilia would just please stop. Moreover, this is what's going to happen. It's not even funny. And we're going to talk about all these different elements as we go through. But Ilia will get knocked out, and he'll get knocked out quick. It's not going to be like Conor versus Floyd, where Conor was able to hang around. There's so many different elements as to why. But let's break it down. Let's go through everything. And I want to explain from start to finish why this is ridiculous, why Ilia is just embarrassing himself, and he should seriously just stop and focus on MMA, which is the superior sport. And it's on a tear right now. We just got this Paramount deal. We're about to have the White House card. MMA will surpass, I think, and eclipse boxing in the very near term because it's real. And I've said this so many times. It's boxers. No offense to boxers. Boxers, it's a sport. It's like tennis. It's like other things. It's great. It's awesome. People love it, and they should continue to love it. But when you hear the word fighter, I think real fighter. I think MMA fighter. And I'm sorry, like that's what it is. And I think MMA fighters should be proud of that. That at the end of the day, if boxers want to call themselves fighters, kickboxers want to call themselves fighters, but at the end of the day, it's the MMA fighters that would win in all-out combat. They're the real fighters. And they should take pride in that, not be trying to chase these random paydays, in my opinion. Look, and everybody's got to do their thing and make their money. But again, the point is this will not happen. So it's doing no benefit. All right, let's get into the mix here. So let's back up the timeline back in 2016, just to explain the vast difference in circumstances between when McGregor was calling for this versus today. So this is the presser, one of the earlier pressers that I could find, where McGregor starts bringing up calling Floyd Mayweather out. Floyd Mayweather even said at this point, because he was retired. It's not like Crawford, where Crawford is much more in his prime. I mean, Crawford is up there. He's almost 38, but still, it was a different situation. Floyd Mayweather had retired. He was 40 years old, and he said the only person that would bring me out of retirement is Conor McGregor, because he wanted that. I think he wanted an easy payday. So listen, this is when Conor brought this up back in 2016.
I don't know. When I take that guy's belt, leprechaun. Oh, good one. When I take that guy's belt, I'm looking around. I don't know what anyone else has for me around here. I might have to jump up and drag Floyd Mayweather out bed, see what the he's at again.
Okay, so this is back in 2016, as I mentioned, right before he fought Eddie Alvarez, I believe. And again, this is a point where they're still trying to get place is to just legalize and allow the UFC and MMA to take place in different venues and states. Now, this whole ordeal between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, it was almost crazy as this was playing out. And then in the aftermath, I'm like, oh my God, it was literally the plot of this movie from 1996 called The Great White Hype. I mean, literally, it was the exact same thing. It was an undefeated boxer, and they were trying to manufacture a beef and a potential opponent that could beat this guy. It was somebody that beat this professional boxer back when he was 17, the guy when he was an amateur, and this guy was like retired, and he was a music artist or something like that. He was a singer, and down on his luck, they pulled him out. They offered him 10 million, and they hyped it all up, and they made people believe this guy's gonna knock him out. It was the white guy coming in, and people were actually believing it. Okay. And then the boxer, the undefeated boxer, barely trains, gets really out of shape, goes in there and just knocks him out immediately. Like, they got everybody believing that this was going to be a real fight, a good fight, a great challenge. And even though the guy didn't train or do anything, he just smoked this white boxer coming out of nowhere. And then we see Conor versus Floyd. Now, some people were arguing, I'm going to show a clip in a second of people arguing this, the contrary to this point, that it wasn't just ridiculous and Conor wasn't outmatched, but Conor was completely outmatched. It was what it was. And then I was like, oh my God, it was the great white hype, but it got me, but it was the same thing. They got me buying into this idea that Conor could actually win. But that trick's not going to work again. It worked once. They played their card. They made it into a huge pay-per-view event, one of the biggest events of all time. I think the only thing bigger was Mayweather versus Pacquiao or something like that. But it was one of the most watched events of all time. They pulled that trick. It's not going to happen again. So, like, just to back it up, go back in time. This is some of the hype that was being propagated by Brendan Schaub, especially. And he later came out and said, Showtime asked me to do this. They asked me to be the Conor supporter, since I'm the MMA guy doing things for them, to sort of prop him up and help people believe that Conor actually had a shot. So this is some of the propaganda that Brendan Schaub was stating leading up to this fight.
The concept that this is a freak show from some people, my God, saying that this is a freak show that's being put out there because there really is nobody to challenge McGregor in a way that he needs to be challenged in the octagon anymore. And Floyd is 40 years old, and there's really nobody else that folks are going to put their hard-earned money on to see quite like Floyd.
I lose all energy in my body when they say that. It's ridiculous. A freak show would be Michael Phelps racing a great white shark. That's a freak show. A freak show is selling me on pickup basketball with these old-time vets 3-on-3. Talking about YMCA pickup basketball, that's a freak show. A freak show is not the best mixed martial arts in the world against the best boxer in the world. That's not a freak show. It's very compelling, and that's why it's going to be the biggest pay-per-view of all time.
Well, what makes it compelling to you? Seriously, now if you,
it's always, yeah, go ahead.
Because I mean, again, I mean, Conor's roots are from boxing, sure, but he's not able to use the weapons that has made him his name. So
see, that's not true. I beg to differ there. He is able to use those weapons. What makes Conor so special is his awkward style, his movement. He can switch between southpaw, traditional. He has very a movement that no one can really mimic. So when Floyd Mayweather competes against Conor McGregor on August 26th, again, under those lights, that will be the first time he's ever seen that style. If Conor goes out and he's in a regular boxing stance, he's screwed, but he's not going to be. I hear his stance can be even more awkward than we're already picturing inside the octagon. So I think for Floyd, he has to adapt to all these different variations that he's never seen before.
You don't think he's getting that in his sparring sessions?
You can't mimic it. You could bring in Bruce Lee and he could do this. Rest in peace, Bruce Lee. Mm-hmm. However, if he did that, it would not mimic Conor. I'm telling you, man, the first time you see that style is under the lights when it counts. The question is, how long is it going to take Floyd to adapt to that style? He's going to. I'm not saying he's Floyd or Conor's going to go in there and outclass him in boxing, but how long is it going to take Floyd to download that awkward movement before he starts winning rounds? I say between 4 to 5 rounds. Now, in those 4 to 5 rounds, does Conor land some shots? I guarantee you he does. I guarantee it. And that's why this fight is not a freak show.
So too, it's just so funny now that I think back, because I remember watching this fight and really buying into what he was saying, what other people were saying. Well, the other thing you have to think about is Conor's a lion, and at the end of the day, if the rules were not there, Conor would just annihilate Floyd Mayweather. So he's going to be thinking about that, and then I was buying into that. I'm like, oh my God, that's true. Conor really could just take Floyd apart if he chose to mix in some different techniques. So Floyd's going to be thinking about that. None of that was true. Now Conor did land some shots. I think Skip Bayless, in a clip that I'm going to show next, says that he landed 111 shots or something like that. But if you remember those shots, those weren't the cleanest, hardest looking shots. It was more, look, he landed and he did better than what people thought, but it wasn't, I don't think it was competitive at all. I think that Floyd was not letting him land those shots, but was almost, he never looked in danger once to me. It kind of looked like he was carrying him at points. I don't think he ever felt he was in danger. And the only reason why the fight went as long as it did, which this would not happen with Terence Crawford versus Ilia Topuria. I think Terence Crawford would knock him out in round 1, maybe round 2. Floyd was never a knockout artist. He relied on his defense. It was kind of the perfect storm. So even after the fact, as the fight went on, because I think it ended in the 9th round or something, people walked away not feeling ripped off because of the way that Floyd fights. It went on for some time. It wasn't a one and done, quick and over. I mean, if Floyd would have knocked him out in round 1, people would have been pissed. But it just was the perfect storm. The way that Floyd fights allowed for that. So anyways, but I'm laughing because Brendan, like I said, he came out later and he has sort of admitted that he was playing this role and trying to build the fight for Showtime. But I don't think he really believed what he said. It kind of was a freak show. Now we're going to go into the aftermath. And in this clip, Michael Rappaport really sticks to that point that, yeah, like Conor got smashed. Conor got owned, as we should have expected. Skip Bayless was one of the only people that was being like, no, Conor almost had him. And Skip Bayless is out of his mind. I don't ever listen to Skip Bayless. Obviously, he doesn't know anything about MMA, and I don't really listen to him for other sports or whatnot. But yeah, he was like the only guy. But listen to Michael Rappaport when he talks about the fight. At the end of the day, I mean, Floyd did what we should have all predicted should have obviously happened. But even I got fooled by the hype. So listen to Michael Rappaport explain this.
Michael.
You ready to eat a little crow, big man?
Oh, well, what's the
Michael,
crow?
you were very vocal.
Very vocal
About this fight being a joke, called it a pillow fight.
Farce, pillow fight.
Was it better than you thought?
It was more exciting than I thought. But I expected it to go 12 rounds. I expected the beating to go on for 12 rounds. But Floyd was so unthreatened.
Really?
Listen, Skip, I've been listening to you all morning.
Oh,
You're saying, well, he landed 111.
111 punches.
If I give you $100 million, you better land a couple of punches.
Please stop.
Okay? You better. And where was all his? If he
realize 111 is more than 9 of Floyd's previous opponents in 12 rounds.
And 111 punches. And did one of them even make Floyd take a step back?
Yes.
Mr. TKO power. He's a knockout artist.
You were watching television, right? Did you hear the Showtime announcement?
I watched it live and I watched it last night on the broadcast.
Okay. Did you hear what they screamed early in round 9? That hurt Mayweather. Mayweather.
That wasn't Paulie or Alberti.
Yeah,
that was that guy in the middle.
Paulie shut up because he didn't have anything to say.
Oh, please, yeah. Skip.
And the referee, Dirty Bird, goes in there and breaks it up. He took him out of it. He was about to be finished. I'm screaming, let him finish. Let him finish. And he breaks it. He lets Floyd reset in the middle of the ring.
The reason why Floyd walked through him, he was non-threatened. It was a non-threatening opponent.
This was supposed to be Michael Phelps versus Usain Bolt. That's what you said. But wait a minute. Maybe Michael Phelps is fast. Maybe he can fly. Maybe he can run 100 meters because this guy can run 100 meters. My God, everybody said it was a joke, a farce. Did you think it was a joke after 4 rounds?
I thought it was an entertaining fight. You think that fight's going to win Fight of the Year?
Oh, no, you know what?
If he wants
was
to
as
keep
entertaining a fight as I've ever watched.
And listen, because of the hype, it lived up to some of the hype. But if he wants to keep boxing, fight the winner of Triple G, Andre Ward could get down to 168 pounds. He'll knock him out in 1 or 2 rounds.
Yes.
This was
Canelo.
This guy's up there like this. He's doing little karate chops. This is Hong Kong Fooey. This ain't Hong Kong Fooey.
Yeah,
this is boxing. 50-0.
Yeah.
I think Michael Rappaport's right on. I mean, that's kind of what we saw. Skip Bayless was really wacky. He's very bizarre. He may have been also asked to promote the fight and take the side of Conor throughout that whole thing. I mean, Brendan Schaub said that that's what Showtime asked him to do. I wouldn't be surprised if Skip Bayless isn't making a lot of sense when he makes these arguments. He's sort of being a little bit silly and theatrical, and I feel like he's putting on an act. Anyways, but that's what happened. I remember watching it myself and being like, man, this was not at all what I was expecting or anticipating, because Conor, it was the people around. They had people like Brendan Schaub, but it was Conor that sold that fight. We wanted to believe that he could get it done. And he seemed so confident. He was talking so much trash to Floyd. He gave all these great reasons. Floyd is 40. I'm young. I'm in my prime. Boom. I'm a lion. I can take him apart. Like, I'm in a real fighting game. This is just half a fight, not even half a fight. You know, all those things got us believing that this was real, but it wasn't. They sold us that. They sold us that nonsense, and we bought it, and it's okay. It wasn't the worst fight in the world. I'm actually happy it happened because I felt like it brought a lot of visibility and publicity to MMA period because of that crossover. It took some of the fans, I believe it got some fans from boxing to transition over to MMA. So I'm not mad about it, but let's be real. It was just like that movie, the Great White Hype or whatever. It's essentially that exact same plot. It's crazy that they made that movie, and then whatever, 20 years later, that exactly almost happens. Now, the other reason why I don't think Ilia versus Terrence Crawford is even a thing, and I mean, even Terrence Crawford, I don't think he was capping. I think he was 100% Terrence Crawford himself. I don't even know who Ilia Topuria is. And Terrence Crawford is a very casual fan. He used to watch back in the day. He knows Cody Garbrandt. He knows Conor McGregor. He's obviously not kept up with the sport. And most people outside of MMA don't know who Ilia Topuria is. You might say, oh, he's got 10 million followers on Instagram or 11 million or whatever it is. And that's great. Big star for us MMA fans. You know, we all like Ilia a lot. We love to watch his fights. I was there at UFC 317. I saw that knockout live. It was incredible. But the truth is, it's very different. So this is a side-by-side comparison to McGregor's fame in 2016 compared to Ilia's fame in 2024. So you can kind of see the difference, right? At this point, yes, he was the double champ. Now, granted, Ilia's kind of a double champ, so we have a little bit of similarities there. But here, when Conor did it, he was the first ever. He was talking about it, and he had the whole nation of Ireland. Plus, dude, the smack talk doesn't even compare. I like Ilia. I think Ilia is great. I like to see him at pressures, but it's not even 1/10 as powerful as Conor was on the mic and at pressures. Conor was just absolutely unbelievable the way he did what he did. In terms of the mainstream recognition, a bona fide global celebrity. I mean, he was everywhere. He was doing, yeah, exactly. He was doing Conan. He was doing all the talk shows. The UFC doesn't really do that type of thing with their stars anymore. Push them to do the talk shows and have this mainstream popularity. But he was doing it Conor was everywhere, right? Yes, he's a major name in the MMA world, but not at all. It's not even close. And you can't even compare the Instagram numbers. It's like Conor can't walk anywhere. I guarantee you there's many places Ilia can go, many places where there wouldn't be any fanfare. Again, love Ilia. It's one of the biggest stars right now in the UFC, but it's not even close. But if we look at the pay-per-view sales, I mean, look at the pay-per-view numbers. Now, it's a little unfair to compare because of all the theft of pay-per-views, but Ilia's numbers, that being said, still, Ilia's numbers don't even come close. I guarantee you, if you looked at streaming numbers, if we did a side-by-side comparison, even today, but think about in 2016, it wouldn't even be close to the amount of people that would tune into something with Conor McGregor level fame in 2016 versus Ilia Topuria today. And now this media mentions right here, the subject of massive media attention, said that he was mentioned 6.4 million times across social media, news, and blogs over a year. And yes, he's gotten significant attention, but nothing to that level, not even close to where Conor was back in the day. And again, he was already a massive social media figure at this point where he received millions of mentions online. Now, I looked at the numbers. I think around this time, Conor had around like 10 or 12 million. But again, social media is a different thing today than it was 9 or 10 years ago. And yes, he's got over 11 million followers, but people have also said that some of these seem to be fake followers. I don't know. Okay. I have not researched it. I have not checked it out, but I don't think it's even comparable. Possess a unique combination of trash talk, fighting skill, fashion that made him a spectacle. True. I mean, it was all around unbelievable. We had never seen anything like it. And Ilia gets criticized all the time for trying to emulate Conor. That's not going to be anywhere close to that same level of magnetism, because people have seen it all before. People are even criticizing Ilia, but also on top of that, he's not doing it. I love Ilia again, but he's not doing it to the same level as Conor. I'm sorry, it's not even close. Yes, he has an it factor. He backs up his talk, but he has yet to cultivate the same level of global casual fan intrigue. And that's the key right there. The casuals. Everybody, they said MMA. Oh, Conor McGregor. It's not like that today. People don't say, oh, MMA, Ilia Topuria. No, they still say Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor hasn't fought in 3 years. Now, Here's another difference that I mentioned as well. Floyd Mayweather had retired. He was 40. Now, granted, it's not a massive age difference, but Crawford, he just beat Canelo. Okay? A lot of people thought Canelo was going to beat Crawford. He just beat Canelo. He's in his prime. 37, about to be 38 in just over a week. Dude, it's not even close. Crawford will smash him. You can see the way he hits. He hits way harder than Floyd. Floyd is a defensive fighter. Again, I'm not a boxing expert, so I'm sure I'm not getting everything right, but from what I saw in that Canelo fight, dude, he would rock Topuria. And Topuria is amazing as an MMA boxer, but it's obviously different. Okay? We're not going to get a football player to go in and, well, that's a bad example, right? Because it's not one-on-one. But like tennis and ping pong, same thing. Both using paddles, both swinging. Obviously, a professional ping pong player is going to come in and get annihilated by a tennis player. It does not matter that they're combat sport athletes. It does not matter that those are two sports with a ball and a paddle and you're swinging with like similar form. It does not matter. It will not translate at all. And we've already had the trick played on us. We already fell for it. We're not going to fall for it again. It is what it is. So, oh yeah, I think that's my last slide. So in conclusion to all of this, okay, this is my plea to just let's have this talk stop for all the reasons I mentioned. It's not even going to happen, so it's pointless. It makes MMA fighters look like they're below boxers because they're all trying to get boxing matches. Like, I know Francis Ngannou is doing it, but dude, look what happened with Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua. He got knocked out bad. And that's what we should expect. And there's no knock on Francis Ngannou. He's going into a new sport and trying to learn it very quickly. It's not gonna work. Plus, he's going back and forth. He's still doing MMA. I mean, he's not fully transitioned over to boxing. You know, what happened against Tyson Fury, I believe, was a fluke. I really believe it was a fluke. Props to Francis, but we're not going to see that again. He wants to now fight Deontay Wilder. I'll bet money Deontay Wilder starches him. I'm sorry. It's a different thing. It's a different game. It's a different sport. So it is what it is. I hope he stops asking for it. And on top of that, the UFC is so on fire right now with everything that's happening. I'm telling you. These paydays I feel they're right on the cusp of increasing and even surpassing what boxing has to offer. I'm talking for the biggest stars. So all this talk about, oh, but they make 100 million in boxing and we only make 10 million or 5 million or even 30 million with John Jones. It's about to flip-flop. I believe it. So anyways, I get it. I get the motivation. I get that you want to make money for your family and do your thing. It's not going to happen, number one. Number two, I feel as though it demeans the sport of MMA, which to me, as an MMA fan, is a superior sport. So, and I say instead, let's focus on building up the sport of MMA to build the future of this sport, to build the future of the UFC. So we have the appropriate paydays. I'm talking at the very highest end in the future, which I believe we're on the precipice of. So anyways, there's my 2 cents on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you also feel that Ilia, what he's doing is kind of a little bit embarrassing as a UFC or an MMA fan? Do you also wish he would stop? Or do you disagree? Do you actually want to see him fight Terrence Crawford? I doubt many people do, but if you do, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.